isn't always easy. Living things. Back in the 1800s, a scientist named Charles Darwin went on an historic expedition to the Galapagos Islands and noticed something strange about the birds there. Each of the islands had its own unique species of finch. They were all very similar to one another, but their beaks were radically different sizes and shapes. On islands with lots of fruit trees, the finches had beaks that were useful for eating fruit. On islands with a lot of insects, the finches had thin beaks that could pick up a single bug. And so on. This got Darwin thinking. Eventually, he decided that all of the finches could have easily come from a common ancestor and become more specialized to suit their environments. The end. The voyage lasted 5 years, during which Darwin collected and studied hundreds of species of plants and animals. His most famous work was done in the Galapagos Islands, off the coast of Ecuador. He wasn't the first scientist to think that life forms change from generation to generation. Before he formed his own ideas, Darwin agreed with Jean-Baptiste Lamarck's theory of evolution. Now, according to Lamarck, animals that use a certain body part a lot will develop great strength or size in that part. He believed that these changes would then be passed on to the next generation. Darwin didn't quite see it like that. He believed animals couldn't pass on traits they developed during their own lifetimes. We'll think of it this way. If two, say, bodybuilders have a baby, it won't be born any more muscular than average. According to Darwin, animals have to struggle for resources, like food and land. Their ultimate goal is to live long enough to reproduce. Animals born with advantageous traits are just likelier to live long enough to reach that goal. Those traits will then be passed on to their offspring. Animals with disadvantageous traits are less likely to survive and have kids. So those traits are less likely to get passed on.
Okay, now these are the required supplies to do the lab. You're going to have a small seed island, a large seed island, a petri dish, and you're going to randomly take one of these tools to select as your beak.